Today I'm adding to my relocation series. Today I'm talking about relocating to Arizona, and I'm starting right now. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. My name is Carrie Jonicus and I'm a realtor in Chicago's southwest suburbs. Please consider hitting the subscribe button down below and the notification bell to be notified of any new videos that I post. I post new videos every Monday and I wouldn't want you to miss out. If you've been here before, thank you so much for joining me again. If you are considering relocating to Arizona, then you must download my Relocating to Arizona guide. Click the link in the description box down below to be emailed a copy of the guide. I am here today with Chris and we are talking about relocating to Arizona. Chris, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and the areas that you serve?
Sure. So my name's Chris Eppich. I'm a licensed real estate broker in Gilbert, Arizona with Homesmart. Married with 3 kids and been a Gilbert resident for, I think 15 years now. And I've lived in the East Valley of the Phoenix metro area for getting close to 40 years, somewhere around there. I'm a transplant like most people. So my dad was a Phoenix native. My wife is a Phoenix native also. And but I've lived here almost my entire life and like doing things with my 3 boys and being a part of the great Southwest environment that we have here.
That's awesome. And what areas do you serve?
So I primarily serve the East Valley of the Phoenix metro area. So we're talking Mesa, Chandler, Tempe, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Santan Valley. I do go as far out as Florence as well as Coolidge. And I have also done work throughout the entire Phoenix metro area, but my wheelhouse, if you will, or my preferred area is really that East Valley of the Phoenix metro area. Apache Junction also and Gold Canyon. Forgot to throw those in there.
Okay. How far does that stem?
I would guess probably 30 to 45 miles, depending on which direction you go. Most of it's more Phoenix metro area. So if you look at the Phoenix Valley, Phoenix is kind of the middle. You have the West Valley cities, then you have Phoenix, which kind of straddles everything in between. And then you have the East Valley cities. So on the east side, I would say Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Apache Junction, Santan. That area I would say is probably close to about 30 square miles or so.
Okay. What do the price ranges look like in those areas? I'm sure they vary greatly depending on what you may get, but what do some of those price ranges look like? Like what would a home start at and go up to?
Sure. So really our entry level housing in the Phoenix metro area has gone up significantly in the last couple of years. Currently, if you were looking for a starter home in areas like Santan, Queen Creek, Apache Junction, even some in Mesa, you're getting close to a $300,000 starting price point. And then, of course, from there it goes up. Gilbert is the most affluent city in the East Valley, and we have multi-million-dollar houses here. So our low end, if you really kind of go out on the far end of town, you can still find a house for roughly $230,000, $250,000, all the way up into multi-million dollars.
Okay. What do the taxes look like on those homes?
So our property taxes, again, vary based on what the county assessor determines the value of the house is worth. But I think most homes are, somewhere in that $1,800, $1,500 up to about $3,000 a year. Depending on the size of the house. Obviously, multi-million dollar houses, it can go up from there. But I think most people are paying between about $1,200 to $1,500 a year up to, roughly, I think most of the stuff I've seen in the 500,000s is right around almost 2,700, somewhere around there.
Gosh, that just blows my mind, seriously, because our taxes here are just outrageous. I mean, I have my home, is in the 300,000 and, we're like almost $9,000 a year in taxes.
Ooh.
So that just blows my mind. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've heard people in like New York, New Jersey, some of those where their tax bills could be, almost as much as a house here, it seems.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. So do you have a lot of HOAs there for single family homes? Okay.
Yeah. So starting in about the 1980s here, HOAs became a very popular thing. So almost all new communities, I'm not aware of a single new community that doesn't have an HOA. And going back as far as the 1980s, so any of the communities in about the last 40 years typically have an HOA. Every once in a while, you'll also find communities here where the HOA has dissolved or has become defunct. And so it's not impossible to find areas that there are no HOAs, but I would say probably 80% of everything in the Phoenix metro area has an HOA.
Okay. And what do those HOA fees look like?
So it depends on community features. If you find a community that has a golf course, if it has clubhouses, if it has lots of amenities, some of the upper end communities and stuff, you'll see HOAs of, you can get into HOAs where it's $1,000 or more. Some of the retirement communities here have really high HOA fees as well. And for us, Leisure World, for example, is a really popular retirement community that I have clients in there that are paying $600 a month for an HOA. But most of your residential communities are going to be somewhere typically between about $50 a month up to about $150 a month for an HOA that typically takes care of just the green spaces.
Okay. If someone's visiting your area, what would you say, what would you want them to see? Certainly they're going to take a look at homes when they're there, but what should they see in the area when they're considering the different areas that you serve?
That's a fantastic question. The Phoenix metro area sits in the Sonoran Desert, and it's unlike my dad was in the military when I was a kid. So he was in the Navy, he was in the Army. We moved around a lot when I was younger. And so it's very, very different here than Colorado, South Dakota, New Mexico, any place else. We have saguaro cactuses. This is one of the only places in the entire world where a saguaro cactus can grow. I think there is a real beauty to the desert. It's very different than the mountains or the plains or anything else. So I really think getting out and exploring our outdoors is what a lot of people do when they come here. We've got hiking trails in town. We've got hiking trails just outside. The Superstition Mountains are one of my most favorite features of the entire Phoenix metro area. They're this beautiful mountain range on the east end of the Phoenix metro. And I think there's just a lot of natural beauty here that you won't get anyplace else in most of the rest of the country. So I think, that's a big draw, is to get out and go explore our outdoors area. Our weather's fantastic. It's, I think it's supposed to be 65 degrees today. It's kind of on the cooler end for Phoenix. So, it was a little bit overcast this morning, but most days you can get out and golf, you can get out and go hiking, you can get outdoors and go explore here. And that's what I think, if you're coming to Phoenix, you want to get outside and enjoy the weather while it's nice and take advantage of that. Gilbert itself is kind of known as a little foodie destination. So if you love great places to eat, there's a lot of really cool restaurants in our downtown area. And I usually recommend, if you're coming down here to visit, you're thinking about, relocating here, I love our downtown area. It's very walkable. In fact, you'll see people just walking down the streets up and down Gilbert Road. And so, those are kind of some of the big highlights for the Phoenix metro area. Mesa Historical Museum is kind of another cool little feature. They have some older Arizona history there that you can kind of pick up where again, you're not going to see that stuff every place else. So those are kind of some of the main things that I would focus on if I was coming to Phoenix to explore. Is I would focus on some of the downtown areas, Chandler's got kind of a renaissance going on in their downtown. Mesa has kind of been going through that also. Gilbert's very, very known for that food destination. That's most of what our downtown is restaurants and bars. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
Great. That's some great recommendations.
And go golfing. Lots of places to golf.
I would think so. Yeah, you're killing me with your weather, because today here it's 2 degrees.
Yes.
2 degrees, and we just had another really big snowstorm. I can't see my mailbox. There's snow drifts that are like up to my windows.
Yep.
It's crazy. So yes,
the
weather.
It was a little.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
it was fine. A little rough a couple of weeks ago. I think I had 8 inches of sunshine in the front yard that we had to shovel. But you take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the number one reasons why people are relocating out of Chicago is that our weather. So definitely your sunshine and 65 sounds great today.
Well, and that's something you need to know if you're thinking about moving to the Phoenix metro area. We have beautiful weather here about 6 to 8 months out of the year. And just like any place else, Chicago, you guys have gorgeous summers. You can get outside, you can enjoy the outdoors and stuff during those summer months. We really have 2 seasons here. We have fall or spring and summer. And, during our winter months, we have more of a fall or a spring season for everybody else in the country. But, we're in a desert. It hits 115, it hits 118. Occasionally it hits 122 degrees here. And the nice part about living in the Phoenix metro area is that everything's basically air conditioned. So while you're stuck in your home for a couple months over the winter when it's really cold, it's really snowy outside, you have to consider that in Phoenix, we're actually stuck in our houses and in air conditioned shops and places during the summertime, because you go outside in the morning times where it's still like 85, 90, 95 degrees, even 100, and you try and get done what you're going to do, or you go out after it gets dark. But during the daylight hours, it gets really, really warm. And everybody says, oh, it's a dry heat. Yes, our temperature and our climates create a dry heat for part of that season. But when our monsoons come in August, July, right around the 1st of July, our humidity shoots up to about 50%. And when you're talking to somebody from Houston where it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity, they still laugh. But there's a very distinct shift in what it's like to be outside. It starts getting muggier. It starts cooling down just a little bit, but it'll still be 108, 110, 112 with 50 to 60% humidity. And most people that live here are indoors most of the time for the summer period.
Now, that leads me to another question. So do most of the homes in your area, do they have pools?
So pools are kind of one of those things that are an individual preference. You will find there are communities here that have community pools. So, there's not necessarily a need to have a pool in your backyard. We have a lot of pools here. Our schools, our junior highs, our high schools all have swimming pools also. And those are open to the public during swimming season, during those late spring months, throughout the summer and into the early fall. You can go down and swim at the public school pools for a very, very small fee. We're talking like $2 a person for all day. For an adult, if you're a resident, it's a little bit less, I think, for the kids. It's like $1 a day or something like that for the kids. So we have community pools in the neighborhoods that the HOAs provide and maintain. We have the community pools through the public school systems. And depending on the neighborhood, some neighborhoods have a lot more pools than others. But you'll find if you're a person that you want to have a pool or swim, it's pretty easy to find a house here that does have a pool and in some sort, whether it's that community or whether it's the individual, backyard pool.
Yeah, I would think with the temperatures so warm all the time, you would want to be able to have a pool to go I would say even year round. So if someone wants to relocate from the Chicagoland area to Arizona, what would their first steps be? Would they contact you and you would set up a buyer consultation, or what do you recommend?
So I have found in my 9 years of real estate experience that there's two steps that have to be taken, and it doesn't matter which order you take it. Maybe you'll agree with this, maybe you won't, but in my experience, it doesn't really matter whether you contact a realtor first or you contact a lender first. But you end up needing to contact both of those. And a lot of times, if you're not from the area, maybe you're a little less comfortable with, you know, which lender do I call? So I find most of the time people reach out directly to me first and then ask me for recommendations on who they should talk to for a lender, title companies, all of the other parts of a real estate transaction. But either way, whether you start with a lender or you start with a realtor, we'll be able to help you get that process started. Now, if you're coming and you're paying cash, obviously you don't even need to worry about the lender. You just go straight to the realtor. That's kind of your only step. And we're getting a lot of people relocating from places where they are just bringing cash and coming out here and buying their house outright for cash here. So, but yeah, give me a call and we can certainly talk about what parts of town you're interested in, help you figure out where you should start your search, set up a consultation to kind of find out what you're looking for. Both in the house, the community, the neighborhood, all of those things, and then help you to start to narrow down which areas might be the area that you're looking for.
Okay, great. I will definitely put your contact information in the description box down below. So if anyone is interested in relocating to Arizona, they can contact you. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate all the valuable information that you have given us, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining Chris and I today. Don't forget to download your Relocating to Arizona guide. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.